Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara, and if you're broken on a tight budget this week, you need to say hello to your new best friend, beans. Depending on how broke you are, you can go for dried beans. You have to soak them and then boil them for a while. Otherwise, canned beans are honestly still super cheap and in my opinion, a little tastier. I have 14 recipes here to try that are both easy and don't have a long list of ingredients. All the recipes are in the description below, so don't panic if I don't say exact quantities. You got this, don't worry. Starting off with number 1, we have black bean quesadillas. All you need are tortillas, black beans, cheese, and a little bit of spice. Simply mash the beans, or honestly don't. I prefer them whole, but maybe I'm just a weirdo. Then add some cumin and chili powder, spread that on a tortilla, sprinkle it with cheese, and then grill it. It's perfect for a quick lunch or dinner, and it costs almost nothing. Pro tips for grilling quesadillas: don't walk away from it, and the second half cooks faster, so turn down the heat after you flip it so you don't wreck it. No one likes a burnt tortilla. Number 2 is a classic favorite, black bean chili. Use black beans or kidney beans as a base, add a can of diced tomatoes, onions, and chili powder for a smoky, spicy flavor. Serve on its own or with rice for a meal that's filling, delicious, and costs just a few dollars for the whole pot. If you have some canned corn, chuck that in there as well. Depending on your budget, you can also add a can of beans and tomato sauce. That's what my mom always did. That and an actual package of chili seasoning. Seriously, you can make chili for under $5 and it's so filling. And it freezes well. Always bonus points for freezing well. Number 3, bean burgers. Don't judge a bean burger before you've tried it. I know it's not ever going to be the same as a hamburger burger. Anyway, but if you're broke, then a good old plant-based burger is super cheap to make. All you have to do is blend a can of black beans or kidney beans with breadcrumbs or oatmeal, some spices, and a little onion, then shape it into patties and cook it. Not only can you eat these plain with ketchup or sriracha, you can also use them as a protein base for sandwiches or anywhere a meatball would otherwise fit into the picture. I personally have found that an egg or some wheat gluten flour holds bean burgers together more, but you can get away with minimal ingredients too, which is why it makes the list. And if they're not holding together, just pop them in the fridge for a little while and they should get easier to form. Number 4, chickpea sweet potatoes. This is one of my favorite recipes and it's really easy to make. You literally just boil or roast a sweet potato, and those things are especially cheap to buy in the fall months. And then separately, mix a can of chickpeas with some Frank's hot sauce. I usually heat up that mixture a bit, maybe add a pinch of cornstarch to make it thicken slightly, and then pour that over your cooked sweet potato, add ranch if you're not too broke, and boom. Healthy, spicy, filling, amazing cheap meal right there. By the way, hit the like button on the video if you're enjoying these recipe ideas so far. I would greatly appreciate it. Number 5 is a quick, refreshing Mexican style salad. Just mix black beans, corn, a small can of diced tomatoes, and a splash of lime juice for a very light and flavorful salad. Being broke doesn't mean you have to go for the carb-heavy dishes all the time. I mean, that's fun too, but if you're craving something a little lighter, this works great. If you can afford a can of diced jalapeno or some cumin spice, throw those in too. Under $5 and you have a fiesta party in your mouth. I don't know why I said that, that sounds weird. At number 6, we have lentil and black bean tacos. Start by cooking the lentils. What kind of lentils, you might be asking? It really doesn't matter, but I personally like red lentils for soup since they turn to mush fast, and a firmer lentil like brown or French lentils for recipes like this. Don't fear lentils, they're not scary, I promise. You literally boil them, drain them, and you have one of the most cheap sources of protein on the planet. So anyway, take your boiled lentils and mix in a can of black beans with some taco seasoning, then add the mixture to some tortillas with your favorite toppings. It's a protein-packed twist on regular tacos. They're fine with just some salsa or hot sauce, but depending on how broke or not you are, you can obviously dress this up with tomato, lettuce, sour cream, cheese. It's a taco. You know what to do with it. Number 7, next we have white bean soup. This comforting soup is just made with a couple ingredients. You've got white beans, garlic, onions, and vegetable broth. Almost every soup starts with sauteing onion and garlic, so do that. And pro tips, onion cooks faster than garlic, so add the garlic a little later. Then add the beans, mash them a bit, and add the broth. Then if you have spices like rosemary or thyme, add those too, and let it simmer until it's rich and creamy. The beans should break apart further when cooking, and then you can use a potato masher even to get it more pureed. If you're not so broke that you have a stale box of crackers kicking in your cupboard or some bread, round out the meal with that so it's more filling. Number 8, 3-bean chili. If you have some macaroni and beans lying around, you're halfway there for this comforting dish. All you have to do is mix kidney beans, black beans, and pinto beans, or one or the other, whichever ones you have on hand, with cooked macaroni, diced tomatoes, and spices like chili powder and smoked paprika for a hearty meal that's easy to make and hard to resist. Just top with a little cheese for an extra kick if you have it. Now, smoked paprika isn't really that cheap, so honestly what I would do is substitute with a package of that chili flavoring spice mix. I personally use less than it calls for too, and I saved the other half of the spice packet for another batch. It keeps down the sodium and the costs. But if you do have smoked paprika, go ahead and use that too. Recipe number 9, white bean Alfredo pasta. If you didn't realize you could use white beans as a sauce, Well, I'm here to tell you, it's a form of cooking sorcery you need to try. Just blend some white beans with a bit of sauteed garlic, olive oil, and salt for a creamy, dairy-free Alfredo sauce. Stir that into some cooked pasta and you've got a really cheap, comforting meal that didn't require anything too crazy. Even if you don't have fresh garlic, powdered garlic will work here, trust me. And number 10, bean and veggie stuffed peppers. Mix any beans you have on hand, preferably pinto or black beans, with some rice, chopped veggies, a taco seasoning packet, and maybe a little cheese. And then stuff all that into bell peppers and bake it until it's soft, usually around 375 degrees in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. At my local grocery store, you can usually find a big bag of bell peppers for like $6 or so. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but these freeze really well, and the peppers are really the priciest part. If you don't have cheese, you can use cream cheese, and if you can't afford cheese, then just throw in the seasonings alone and call it good. The peppers will still soften into a perfect vessel for the other ingredients. Number 11, chickpea curry. This is one of the easiest things to procure. Use chickpeas, coconut milk, and curry spices for a quick, creamy, and filling dish. You can serve it with rice so it soaks up all the flavors. I put a very easy recipe in the description, and you don't have to buy curry spices. You can literally buy a cheap store-brand butter chicken sauce or something similar, and honestly, all you need after that are the chickpeas. This freezes great, and it'll also last in the fridge for days if you have leftovers. When you're broke, buying the sauce package mix or sometimes a bottle of the store-brand sauce is much easier than stocking all those spices individually. Number 12, hummus wraps. Hummus is made from blended chickpeas, and a whole container of it ranges in price, but if you get the store-brand, it's honestly not very expensive. There's so many flavors from roasted garlic to red pepper hummus, and I think even one time I tried dill pickle hummus. That was kind of weird. One pack of tortilla wraps later, and boom, instant lunches for the week right there. You can honestly add veggies to the wraps, but if your wallet is hurting, I swear they're fine just on their own without anything else added. Number 13, beans on toast. The British are onto something, I know it. If you literally take a can of beans and tomato sauce, or beans and maple syrup if you're Canadian, and heat that up and put it over a piece of toast, you're guaranteed to have a filling and extremely cheap meal. If you want to get all fancy and melt some cheese on there, I'm not here to judge. Number 14, chickpea sandwiches. In the vegan world, sometimes people call this chickpea tuna, but I'm here to tell you the cold truth, which is that it's nothing like tuna. Still, it's kinda like tuna salad, but obviously less fishy. Just mash a can of chickpeas with a bit of mayo or Greek yogurt and add some chopped celery, onions, pickles. You don't even need to add those things, they just add a little extra. It's perfect for a quick filling lunch. It goes good on sandwiches or crackers or lettuce wraps, lasts in the fridge for days. I usually add some pepper and maybe a little Dijon there if I have it. It's so economical. Beans aren't just affordable and versatile, they're also packed with some amazing nutrition. So the next time you're seeking some broke meal ideas, don't overlook them. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I put another video on screen here with more budget tips. I think you'll enjoy them, so hopefully I'll see you over there. Take care.